Hey everyone, welcome back to the Crafty Couple. A couple videos ago, we asked you guys where you were from, and it was really cool to see all of the responses. So thank you everyone for all of your support throughout the world. We really do appreciate it, and we want to continue to get to know you. So on our end, we wanted to ask you what's something that you would love to know about us, and you can let us know in the comments. And if you guys do enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments which one's your favorite.
For this first craft, we are going to start out with one of these circle boxes from Dollar Tree. They kind of are just in theme with whatever holiday is happening, so mine happens to be this Christmas one. And then you're going to grab a pack of these Dollar Tree skewers. What we are going to do is just cover this whole entire thing with these skewers. So we are going to start by just hot gluing one on the side. So go ahead and just start wrapping them around. I just did a small line of hot glue and then would just put it on and then just kind of push it on for a second. It seemed to stick just fine. I don't think you would need a stronger glue for this project. And then just keep going in a line all the way around. Try and make sure that you are going as straight as possible. And then at the bottom, just make sure that you are pushing all the way down so that it is flush at the bottom as well. And then once you have several lined up, I went in with some wire cutters and just cut them at the very top. I tried to cut several at the same time and it kind of just didn't work. So then I just went one at a time or a couple at a time and it worked just fine. Once those are cut, those same skewers that we just used, you can reuse them again for another line. After I cut that section down, I realized that I could get one more section out of that with the same skewers. So one skewer can get you 3 separate sections. When you get to the end, we just keep doing the same thing, just keep adding all of the skewers. After I cut those down, I just sanded them down slightly so that they were more even. Since I don't want to fill this whole entire box with rocks, I put just a smaller box in the bottom and then I filled the rest just with some paper towels so that just the top layer will be filled with rocks. Then I just filled the whole top layer with these Dollar Tree white rocks. After I did that, I just grabbed these succulents. They come in all these different types and a lot of them you do have to pull out of those little pots or they come in these clips. I was originally going to leave it just this color, but it was a little bit too yellow for me, so I went in with this Waverly Antique Wax, and I grabbed this Dollar Tree sponge and just went over the whole entire thing. This is what it looked like when it was finished. I thought it came out really cute. It just gives quite a bit different look to it. Let me know in the comments which one you like better.
For this project, we're going to be using these 2 glass bowls from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to glue them on each other like that. So you'll want to use quite a bit of hot glue here. This is a project where you may want to use something like E6000 just to make sure it has a stronger hold. The hot glue has worked well enough for us, but if you're worried about it coming apart or breaking, definitely use something a little bit stronger. And then the first thing that we want to do is take one of our ropes here from Dollar Tree and go ahead and unravel it. Then you should be left with 3 strands, and then we'll start with just the 1 strand right here. I'm just putting a little glue on the end to keep that together. And then we'll start by gluing that along the base of this. Now, when I was originally going to make this, I was planning on doing the rope all the way around it to the top and then even the inside of the bowl, so that it would just almost be like a decor piece that could hold something, maybe some keys or your wallet, some greenery, whatever it might be, if you had some other little decor pieces to go in there. But as I was doing this, I like the idea of kind of going up most of the way and then leaving a gap and then doing the candle holder that you see. So hopefully you guys like that idea. Let me know if you have a preference, if you would have liked to have just seen it all with the rope, or if you like the candle idea. So if you've seen us do these projects before, one of our main tips is to always cut the rope short if you need to. So you can see there's a little bit of extra here, but instead of using all of that and wrapping it around until it's done, I like to line these up in the back so that all of the seams are right there in the back. That way when you turn it around to the front, it's nice and seamless and it looks really, really good. And then of course, as you're gluing all the way around, you want to just glue a little bit, hold it down, give it some time to dry, and then work your way all the way around this. And then once we get up here towards the top, it's kind of like what I was talking about. I decided to cut it short and leave just a little bit of a gap here, as you can see, instead of going all the way. And I think this ended up being really, really cute this way. A modern kind of boho look. I think also this would look really good with coastal decor. You could also use like the white nautical rope, and I think that that would look really pretty as well. And the last little part here that I like to do just to clean this up and get rid of some of the strands and some of the fraying is to just take a little lighter and quickly go over this. It also gives it a little bit more color if there's some darker spots from the flame. I think that all adds to the character of this, but it really cleans it up and gives it a lot smoother and sharper look to this. And then of course adding our candle to complete this project.
For our last project, you would just need this nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and we will go ahead and unwind it so that there will be 3 separate strands. I used this tin from Dollar Tree kind of as my template, but of course I made it harder than it needed to be. In a little bit, I show you how I would have done it if I had done this project before. I would have traced the bottom out with foam board first and used that as a template instead of trying to do it this way. This was the first one that I made. Obviously, it was way too round and I needed to make the middle a lot longer so that the whole base was just a lot more oval. So now that I've made the base more oval, I'm going to just use hot glue to combine these pieces. The base is kind of the hardest part, so if you want to just skip it and do just a foam board base, you kind of don't see it anyways, and it's kind of just for your own preferences anyways. So what I did was just go around this oval shape just over and over until I had the whole oval piece. This is how far I got when I realized I really should have just put it onto foam board. So I traced the bottom of this tin onto foam board and cut it out so that I had a better template. So if you were going to make this project, I would start here and then go ahead and put your yarn on top of it and then make your whole oval shape and put that onto here instead. Then I glued it on to my foam board and then I kept going around the whole entire thing until it was mostly covered so that you wouldn't see any of the foam board. When I got to where the back of the basket will be, I just cut the yarn and then just hot glued it. This is the part that I thought was going to be the hardest, but it ended up being the easiest. So now, starting at the back, you just want to put the yarn on top of the base and then just go all the way around. So then you're making the actual basket part. Try and make sure that you're not just getting closer and closer every row that you do. That's what I ended up doing, and the basket at the top is a lot more narrow than it is at the bottom. I don't think it's a bad look, but it's not necessarily what I was going for. Just make sure to keep all your ends of the rope at the back so that it looks nice and clean. So just cut it and then hot glue it, and then keep the start of the next rope at the back as well. For the end at the top, I originally kind of tucked it inside the basket, but I didn't like it in the end, so I show you in a little bit that I undo this, what I'm doing here, and I kind of tuck it behind the basket, which I end up liking a lot better. Then we grabbed this leather from, I believe it was Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and of course use a coupon if you go there. And this is what we'll be using for the handles, and just to make it look quite a bit nicer. I just eyeballed how big I wanted the square to be, and then I just cut it out and made sure it was the same on both sides. I did try and round out the corners as well, just to make sure everything looked pretty nice. And then I did need to make it more of a rectangle in the end, just to make them a little bit smaller so that they fit the basket size a little bit better. Let me know in the comments where you guys get your leather or your faux leather. We have had a really hard time finding this. We haven't looked too much on Amazon just because of shipping times here. We've had some people say that they've even found some at Dollar Tree. We have never seen stuff like that at Dollar Tree, so I don't know how you guys are getting so lucky. Some people have said they've even found some leather looking headbands, so I don't know how you guys are getting so lucky, but we've never been that fortunate. Then once you have your rectangles cut out, I just put a little bit of hot glue in the middle, and then I will be flipping up one of the sides, hot gluing it and pushing it together, and then flipping up the opposite side, hot gluing it and doing the same thing. Then for the other side, just do the exact same thing. Put some hot glue in the middle, put it over the side of the basket, and then just make sure to secure it down with the hot glue. Hot glue worked perfect for this project. You can probably use like the fabric glue for this project. I haven't used it. I don't know how fast that glue dries or anything like that. I wouldn't use E6000 just since that doesn't dry very quickly and you don't need that strong of a hold. So personally, I would just use hot glue. And then like I mentioned earlier, I didn't like how I finished it off, so I brought the end of the rope just in the very back so that it looked just a little bit cleaner. I do love how this looks with the more clean handles. It looks a little bit more bohemian, but I'm going to be adding these push pins on the sides to make them look like they are buttons. I spray painted them with the oil rub bronze spray paint, and then once they were dry, I just pushed them into the leather. They did take a little bit of force to push them in, but once they were in, they were fine, and they don't come out that easy. I tried to use hot glue on one, but I felt like it was harder to get in, and it didn't hold that much better. So this is what they look like with, and this is what they look like without. Let me know in the comments below what you like better. And this is how it looks all completed. I know that you can't see the bottom and they are just little details that don't matter too much, but I personally just love how this turned out.
Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't seen our latest Dollar Tree DIY video, we'll have a link for that right here so you can jump through and watch that. And as always, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time we upload a new video.